talk about books.
Good evening. Before I begin, there are no young children in the audience, so that is good. But if anybody is watching online that has small children in the vicinity, I suggest you, if you want, move them to another room. I also have the books that I'm going to be speaking about. You can pass them around if anybody wants to look at what I'm going to be talking about. I have the actual material. And I also have packets for each of the board members to look at, either while I'm talking, or you can look at it afterwards.
Thank you.
You can share.
That's okay.
No.
Good evening. My name is Sue, and I am a resident of Akron. As I begin my speech, some may jump to a conclusion that I am here to attack the LGBT community. Quite the contrary. I am here to launch a counterattack on the sexualization of our minor school-age children. A few months ago, I started hearing about certain books that were in public school libraries, but had really paid no mind. I just filed that information away, mainly because I thought there is no way in Hades these books being talked about nationally and in Congress were in our little town of Akron's middle school and high school libraries. Shockingly, I was mistaken. The two books that first came to my attention are Let's Talk About It and Gender Queer. Both of these books are considered graphic novels. They do not have real-life photos of actual people. Instead, they are, I would best try to describe the pictures as a cross between realistic and cartoonish drawings. Let's Talk About It talks and shows images on a wide range of topics. Topics such as how to sext properly, like making sure your head is cut out and there are no identifying beauty marks or tattoos in the photo, and how to masturbate. It also teaches you how to insert a butt plug, warning you to hang on to it otherwise, and I quote, your hungry hiney will gobble it up and the only way to get it out is a trip to the hospital, end quote. This book also suggests our middle school and high schoolers look at porn, and I quote, a great place to research fantasy and kinks safely is on the internet. The online world is also chock-a-block full of pornography. Professionals and amateurs alike sharing their sexy adventures online, end quote. I shouldn't have to mention how dangerous this suggestion is. We all know that pornography can become an addictive as drug abuse and can severely hinder one's ability to have happy and healthy relationships and career. The other book, Gender Queer, is a memoir of the author, Maya Kabobi, and her path to identifying as non-binary and asexual, and coming out to her family and friends. In one part of this book, it talks about her 2-month lesbian relationship where they've made out, had sex, and are sexting at work. The pictures go along with her telling the reader of her girlfriend telling her, via sexting, that she, and I quote, got a new strap-on harness today and cannot wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You are going to look so hot, end quote. Her girlfriend continues the sexting with, I quote, I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm gonna give you the blowjob of your life, then I want you inside me, end quote. On the very next page, it has pictures of her girlfriend giving her a blowjob on the strap-on dildo. Another experience the author wants to share with us is a conversation she has with her older sister. The sister asks, and I quote, it never really occurred to you to put something into your vagina, not even a finger? So you've never tasted yourself? End quote. The author called it vagina slime. Both of these books are currently in our middle school and high school library. After some more searching, I discovered there are several other books that fall under sexually explicit content and are currently available to our minor-aged middle school and high school kids in our school's library with no age or grade restrictions. There is an article I came across from the Daily Signal by Toni Connett dated March 29, 2023, about a Virginia superintendent of Spotsylvania County Public Schools who removed 14 sexually explicit books and donated them to the county libraries. 12 of these 14 books are currently in our middle school and high school library. There are a few I'd like to highlight for you. All Boys Aren't Blue, a memoir manifesto. Includes a detailed scene in which the author, age 13, is molested, both receiving and giving oral sex to his cousin, age 17 or 18. The author also describes several other obscene sexual scenes. The Bluest Eye contains several instances of characters fantasizing and experiencing incest, rape, and pedophilia. Morrison, the author, spends considerable time with many scenes intimately describing sex with children. America contains several disturbing scenes in which the 15-year-old main character is raped, describes his erections and how excited he gets by seeing both boys and girls naked, and relishes how no one can stop him from imagining rape. In a copy of the article I provided to you, you can read for yourself a page out of this book. I would read it here, but even I have some boundaries. Up until a few weeks ago, the books, Let's Talk About It and Genderqueer, had no age or grade restrictions. Only after bringing these two books to the attention of the superintendent, Mr. McCabe, which resulted in a meeting with Mrs. Kirsten, Director of Educational Services, Mr. Gabriel, Middle School Principal, Mr. Dimitrov, High School Principal, Mrs. Penn, Middle School, High School Librarian, myself, and Aaron Polkowski, who represent parents of the community who share the same concerns. The outcome of this meeting resulted with these two books can now only be signed out by 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. A small step in the right direction, but not enough. The meeting started out by Mrs. Kirsten explaining that the library is an extension of all the classes offered to the middle school and high school students: math, English, languages, social studies, science, health, and electives. Please explain to me how the material in the books I shared here tonight and the list of the 30-plus books I have provided you are in any way an extension of the classes offered at Akron. The issue of books found to be inappropriate, sexually explicit, or pornographic, you can choose how you would describe these books to a friend. Found in public school libraries is a new one. I don't think anyone ever had to question what a librarian was putting on the shelves of his or her library. As the process is now, and was basically explained to me by Mrs. Penn in our meeting, books are suggested by teachers, staff, etc. They could be award-winning and are rarely or never read cover to cover as a sort of screening process before being shelved. There are no standard procedures, no policies, no guidelines to follow, never questioned, and why would it be until now? As elected public servants to Akron School District, you work for the Akron community. You swore an oath to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and to do this to the best of your ability, while following regulations put on you by the state and other departments, and following laws put in place to protect our children. Surely there is a way we can meet all of these obligations. It would just take some work to find that path and create the policies that would safeguard our children. Mr. McCabe, with your 30-plus years of experience at all levels in the public school system, I see you as a huge asset to help create these policies. Along with the board, the guidance of Erie One BOCES, Akron's lawyers, and, of course, parent input. All of you have chosen public service or career paths that center around the molding of our youth, who will carry on the values we instill in them now to the generations that come. It is an enormous responsibility, but if we all work together, I am confident we can find a solution and common ground. And with that, I'd like to end with a few quotes and Bible verses. First, children are the living messages we send to a time we will not see. President John F. Kennedy. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Proverbs 22:6. We must never be afraid to be a sign of contradiction for the world. Mother Teresa. And lastly, if you cause any of these little ones to fall into sin, it would be better for you to have a large millstone tied around your neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. Matthew 18:5-6. your time.
Thanks for